Hi, it's Monica here at Lot 54 Recording Studios in Huntington Beach. This is a great studio to come to for all the local musicians, and I'm here to interview Monte Pittman. Hi, Monte.
Hello. Hello. Thanks for having me here, Monica. It's great to be here.
Monte, I want to ask you about your new album, Pain, Love, and Destiny, and how do you think it differs from your first album, The Deepest Dark, which came out in 2009?
Yeah, when I did The Deepest Dark, that's my first album. It's just an acoustic album, just acoustic and vocals. And Pain, Love, and Destiny is a rock album. I didn't plan on it being a rock album, but it was kind of just going to be an acoustic album with bass and drums and some keyboards and stuff like that. And then once we got recording it, the guitars sounded so good that we just kind of kept them, and the whole thing kind of created itself. I played everything except for the drums. A friend of mine named Kane Rashat played drums. He plays in a band called Vos de France. They're a new kind of up-and-coming band here in L.A. And Kelly Rhodes played piano on 3 of the songs.
Okay, one of your songs on your new album is called I'm the Black Rabbit. Can you kind of tell us what the inspiration was for that song?
Yes. Well, the Black Rabbit comes from Watership Down. It's a book, and it's about these rabbits. And one of the rabbits, he tells his other friends that they need to get out from where they are because he thinks that something bad is going to happen. And all the other rabbits who are kind of in charge, they won't even listen to him. They think he's crazy, and they wind up escaping. And when they escape and they get away from the rabbit lair or whatever, you see that the land is going to be developed, so they would all get killed. So it's kind of their escape. And that's the whole story. But the Black Rabbit is kind of like the Grim Reaper.
I see, okay.
It's kind of like a Don't Fear the Reaper kind of song, I guess.
Okay, speaking of the Black Rabbit, I know you have a Black Rabbit tattoo, and is that in dedication to this song?
I actually had the tattoo before I got the song. Well, when I wrote the song, I Am the Black Rabbit, I had a bunch of lines, which was really the majority of the lyrics. I am this, I am that, I am this. And I was just trying to find the best one of those lines. And I was going to write the song about ghosts because I have got some weird stuff in my house. A lot of people think it's haunted, or not. I don't know. And anyway, and then I had that line, I'm the Black Rabbit watching, and I've got you in my stare. And I was just like, And then I didn't really think much of the song. It's just going to be an extra song, and I played it for one of my best friends, and he said, that's one of the best songs you've ever written. I'm like, really? I was shocked. And then that seems to be one of, kind of the favorites on the album.
Okay, well, what about your other tattoo that you have? What's the meaning behind that one?
Oh, it's a scorpion. Actually, it looks like a scorpion, but there's all these hidden symbols and images inside it. I've always wanted to get one, or not always, but for over 10 years, I've just never seen the one that I liked. Mm-hmm. And I was in Cologne, Germany, outside of the Dom Cathedral on my birthday, and there was a street artist who had this really cool picture of the scorpions, and I bought it and I kept it, and I kind of showed it to a tattoo artist, and he kind of did his change what I wanted to change in there, and kind of made it more personalized.
So you've had those tattoos for quite a while now, both of those?
No, I got both those tattoos last year.
Okay.
I got my first one in July of last year and the second one in October, so I think I'm due a couple more.
Any current music obsessions, any albums out right now that you're really obsessed with?
Yeah, lately I've been obsessed with old blues. And like Freddie King is my favorite guitar player ever right now. And I found out that Freddie King is from Gilmer, Texas, and I'm from Longview, Texas. They're 10 minutes away from each other. It's really close. Muddy Waters, Lightning Hopkins, those kind of players. And I recently got on Spotify. Do you know about Spotify? Yeah. Okay, and so that has turned me on to all this music that I wouldn't have heard otherwise. And so, I would go to one guitar player and then just look at his top 5 songs, and then go to the related artists, and there'd be somebody else, and you go and take their 5 songs. And I've just found all this. To me, it's new music because I've known about all this blues and all that, but you just don't know where to start. You hear the songs that are really popular that everybody knows, but I like those those gems that's like no one's ever heard this song before, but it's been right there. That's what I've been crazy about lately.
And do you think the internet has kind of helped the music industry, or has it hurt it?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a fine balance because on one hand, the internet has hurt the music industry, but also sometimes I kind of look at it like the internet is what gets blamed for what's hurt the music industry. But it has helped the music industry because there's a lot. I've been turned on to so many bands and artists and songs that I would have never heard otherwise. So you have the information there. One of the problems right now, of course, is with the illegal downloading and stuff like that is for artists to make money, so they can keep doing what they do. And I think we're just kind of in a transition right now. I think someone's going to figure something out eventually. In the late 70s, you had the 45 records. It was just about the singles, kind of like where we are now. And then MTV hit in the early 80s, and it was just about the video, still about the single. And then by the end of the decade, you had, like when Motley Crue first came out, right? There was nobody else like them. But then, by the end of the 80s, everybody looked like that. And that's when you had like hair metal, hair bands. And that just paved the way for someone like Nirvana to come in and just completely change the game again. And it seems like when things go back to the roots, go back to the simplicity, it always, kind of restarts itself. I mean, music goes in cycles, even the notes, the music theory. If you start with C, it's going to go back around to C. So music all works the same way. It's not going to ever stop. Just the way we listen to it's going to stop. Actually, getting back to talking about all the old blues, is I realize now how many bands, like classic rock bands, were really just trying to be like the old blues guys. And then they kind of, there's a saying, you always want to take the music past where you found it. And so that's kind of what they did. So I found myself recently from like playing live, I do my own shows, and I play out with friends, just doing cover songs, bar band kind of thing, just for fun. And when we did some blues songs, it's got a great response for me, which is really weird for me because I've never really been into blues. But growing up in Texas, it was just everywhere. And from playing some of these blues songs that we would do, I hear how a lot of people got their ideas, and you don't realize if you listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan, you're listening to Stevie Ray Vaughan, but you don't necessarily know who he listened to try to sound a certain way.
And he's inspired by that.
And a lot of the solos that I did on Pain, Love, and Destiny, it's actually not inspired by guitar players. It's John Coltrane and Thelonious Monk. John Coltrane is I think he's one of the most astounding musicians ever. For what it is, pound for pound, better than just about anybody. Just how he picks those notes, or not picks those notes, but chooses the notes that he plays, and everything about it is just absolutely perfect.
Okay, Monte, I know that you've played guitar for Madonna, Adam Lambert. When you're on the road for so long, do personalities start to clash, or how do you keep it fun and fresh?
Well, actually, on both of those tours, there are so many people around that there's plenty of people to hang around with, so you don't just get tired of. You don't just hang out with one person and you get tired of them.
You get to do what you love, playing music, creating music. What do you think you'd be doing if, for some reason, you had no interest in music? What would you be doing in life?
I don't know what I'd be doing. I've always wanted to play music since I can remember. Since I was 3 years old, I would have a toy guitar, and then I acted like I wanted to be in, played like I was in Kiss or something like that, as many of us did. So I really have no idea what else I would do. I'm not really good at anything else.
Is there any song that you have on your iPod that people would be really surprised to know that you have, like a guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure song right now. I really like that song "Need You Now" from Lady Antebellum.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a good song.
Yeah.
But a song that I listen to over and over again is "Champagne and Reefer" live from Muddy Waters. That's one of my favorites. There's a song called "My Credit Didn't Go Through" from Freddie King. Some of these old blues songs, but I don't know if that would really be a surprise. I like all kinds of music, from really heavy bands. One of my favorite bands right now is a band called Decapitated, and they're from Poland. And just, I mean, number one, these guys are just incredible musicians. They bring something different to their genre of music, and they've also gone through a lot of unfortunate tragedies. But the way they've kept persevering is really inspiring.
What kind of music is that?
It's like it's death metal, but it's, to me, it's more like if Pantera were more on the death metal side. It's not just screaming. It's smart. The music is really well thought out and really well performed. You can't be, you got to be really good to play some of that stuff. And they put on a show while they're doing it. They're not just standing there playing. But that's one of my favorite bands, favorite groups to come out this year. I love Ray LaMontagne, Bon Iver, bands like that, like softer kind of stuff too.
One of your new songs is called Fortune. Do you feel that you've been very fortunate?
Yeah, I feel very lucky to have been doing this for, almost 12 years, living out in LA and doing it professionally. I wrote the song Fortune actually when I lived in Texas before moving out here. So that song, the skeleton of that song is really about like 13, 14, 15 years old now. Probably closer to like 13 or 14 years old. And I rewrote it earlier in the year when I was getting everything together to learn to work up Pain, Love, and Destiny. But yeah, it was kind of a song that I kind of wrote to myself, kind of telling me to, take the next step.
Thank you so much for talking with me tonight, Monty, and coming all the way out here to Orange County.
Thank you so much for having me, and maybe we'll do this again sometime. Thank you, everybody.